Well, we hear all about the benefits of building muscle, strength, endurance, and looking better, but you may also see side effects. We've got 2 News fitness expert Wes Cole to share some moves that we can do to stop muscle growth.
Well, the thing about it is oftentimes people want to get bigger and stronger, but they're intentionally doing things that are actually preventing them from, from building a lot of muscle. So the thing about it is one of the first ones I always tell people is so many people right now are trying to get stronger, gain more muscle when they're on low-calorie diets. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
You really can't gain muscle and lose weight at the same time. You really kind of makes sense. I mean, to lose body fat, you have to, be in a caloric deficit, and to gain muscle, you have to actually have some extra calories. So you can see these goals are going 2 opposite directions.
Definitely.
So the thing I always tell people is if you have some weight to lose, some fat to lose, really focus on your cardio and really focus on doing that. And then, once you've kind of leaned down a little bit, really get in there and maybe focus on the weights a little bit more. But as for going in and doing the same thing, gaining muscle and losing body fat at the same time, it's really something that really can't do, and that's one of the big mistakes that I see, one of the biggest mistakes I see.
Sure, and it sounds kind of confusing because you think, working out, eat less calories, we're good to go, but you want to build that muscle, it's not the same thing.
Well, another thing about building the muscle that I see a lot of people making mistakes is they're intentionally stopping the muscle growth because they're not lifting heavy enough. And I see some of the ladies, especially, they'll lift weights where they're doing 12 or 15 reps when I know they could maybe do 15 more. And I think it's very important that you actually lift some weights where you're being challenged, 10 or 12 times. It's important to remember that weight training is not cardiovascular training. And if you want to build muscle growth, you have to lift something heavy enough to where it's really at least challenge you. That last rep needs to be very, very hard. And, that's real important. And of course, you have the other end of the spectrum is the not enough volume, not enough repetitions.
Okay.
And you see a lot of teenagers do that. They'll get in, they want to lift so heavy that they can only maybe do 1 or 2 reps. Well, they're stimulating the fibers, but really not fatiguing them. So you have to find a weight that you're comfortable with, something that you can safely work with, that you get your repetitions in, and I think that's one of the most important things. And you got to have that balance of volume and strength, which is very, very important. And
so a wrap up there is if you want to gain muscle, eat more calories. Do a lot of reps and lift enough weight that's challenging. Yeah,
challenging for 8 to 12 reps. And like I said, if you can probably get some benefits on 15 reps if you had some issues, but just make sure that lasts. A lot of people turn weight training more into a cardiovascular exercise, which it kind of be good, but if you really want to build muscle, you got to make it challenging.
To look like you've got to go out there and make it challenging.
Absolutely.
All right, Wes. Now we have a viewer question. This one is from Jamie. Is it safe to lift heavy weights when I'm dieting?
Well, people always ask me, should I lift weights when I'm dieting if I'm really not going to gain a lot of muscle? Well, of course you do, but you lift weights for different reasons. Losing lean body mass can be an issue when you're dieting, and we want to prevent losing any muscle that we already have.
Yeah.
So it's important to lift weights when you're dieting, not so much to gain muscle, but to keep the muscle that we already have. It's important to remember that we all have 6-packs. We all have, we're all ripped, but oftentimes it's just covered up a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of people tell me that, Wes, you're wrong. I did a bunch of cardio and I toned up. Well, you didn't really gain muscle. The muscle that you already had just kind of became more visible. So it's very important to lift weights when you're dieting, not so much to build muscle, but to preserve the muscle that you have.
Wonderful, and it's also part of losing weight is having enough muscle to continue that, right?
Absolutely. Well, and building some muscle kind of helps increase your metabolism. Not as much as people think.
Okay.
Not enough excuse to to not do your cardio, but it can elevate your metabolism a little bit and kind of definitely aid you with your diet.
We always appreciate your helpful tips. Thank you so much, Wes. If you have a question like that you'd like Wes to answer, you can go to the weekend morning section of our website, kjrh.com. Click on the Habitual Health link, or you can call Wes at 749-0960 or visit his gym on 46th, just east of Sheridan.